Hi guys, I'm Nicholas Wallwork, and today we're going to be looking around our HMOs and we'll be concentrating on the project management of HMOs. And today I'm very pleased to be joined with our project manager for these sites, one of my current mentees, Ben Collins. Hi Ben.
Hi Nick.
Just want to find out a bit more from Ben, why you're interested in getting into property, what your motivation is, and a little bit more about yourself really. Tell me about yourself and why you want to make millions of pounds.
There you go. Well, I've always been interested in property. I see it as a great source of not only passive income, but the ability to provide you an additional revenue stream and to give you a bit more security as an additional pension going forward, and to create a bit of a legacy for myself as well and my kids growing up.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a motivation for me. Legacy is kind of
huge.
Intergenerational wealth, building more than just a wage. It's about passing some stuff down, isn't it?
Now seemed like an ideal time to be doing it, and luckily all the stars aligned and we've been able to go and push forward on this fantastic project, and I'm learning loads. It's great.
Yeah, it's been great, and Ben's really only been getting going in the last few weeks, so it's a very short-term site. It's probably a couple of month build in total. So yeah, what he's learned is incredible, and you'll hear from the answers to his questions today, hopefully, that that's come from nothing. He's not project managed an HMO conversion, let alone 3 in his life. So with obviously a fair bit of guidance, but a lot of proactivity, a lot of hard work. He's done incredibly well. What's your background, Ben? Where have you come from previously? What's your day job, if you will?
I'm actually an airline pilot by trade. I'm fortunate that the shift pattern, the roster work allows me to have several days off at times which perhaps others won't be. So it's an ideal ability to put those time to good use. And it's just fitted in very, very nicely at the moment. So it's been good.
That's fantastic. Really good opportunity to kind of make the most of that extra time. So getting into some of the specifics of actually doing the project management work, tell us what your overall experience has been, just general, and then I want to sort of move on to the order of the trades coming in, and trying to give people at home some kind of some good education on what it takes to deliver 3 HMOs in as little as a couple of months. Yeah,
sure. How has it been? It's been a very, very steep learning curve. Stratospheric. But luckily I've had some great mentorship, some great guidance from an exceedingly experienced chap. And
very kind. I didn't pay you to say that.
No, that's fine. But and that's been invaluable. The key thing is don't be afraid to make a mistake, but obviously learn from those mistakes. You will be, and I have done, but I try to only make them once. And so long as they're not too bad and we trap them early enough, you can make them done. I
think one of the tricks there is 100%. Any problems you have, it's about overcoming them.
Yeah.
Success in general in a life cycle. Yeah. It's all about how you overcome those problems. There's constant problems in property, constant issues. Everything from we've had to move this wall back, cut a different worktop on, we need a new worktop. I look around me.
Yeah.
In this one site alone, in this one room within a couple of metres of us, there's 3 or 4 problems we've had to overcome, isn't there?
That's it, and we've been trying to visualise what the finished project's going to look like from the very, very start, and trying to get the detail nailed down from the very, very beginning, and be able to then reverse engineer it from that. But even those best laid plans don't always go as planned, and you have to be flexible and be open to change and work with your trades. They are a huge source of knowledge as well, and if you manage to sort of put your vision to them, they can help you create that even when you come across stumbling blocks.
Yeah, and I think the key, what you're describing there is something we might describe as a dream team. So the dream team works from the top down. It works from your mortgage brokers, your lawyers, your architects, your project managers, and everyone in between is part of that team to deliver a project, right down to individual tradesmen. You're relying on their expertise in a certain field.
Yeah,
and as a project manager, you've got to know and learn. That's why it's been steep for you on the first one. Learn the intricacies of what they're doing to be able to manage them properly and work with them properly to deliver that end product. So that's
luckily I've been working with a great team of tradesmen that have helped me understand very, very quickly, and get me up to speed as well as my own hard work to accomplish that as well. And we're able to work quite harmoniously now and come to solutions to problems in good time. Yeah. And then the next key thing for me has just been trying to stay ahead of the build as much as possible to make sure that those guys don't get held up in any way, and we can just keep progressing as best we can.
Well, that's a really good point, actually. And one of the main roles of a project manager is exactly that. It's actually, when you get to the point of the knowledge, it's staying ahead of the tradesmen, because they're all kind of in their own field. You know, the plumber's knocking holes in things, putting his plumbing in, and he's not thinking about the flooring that's going in after, or necessarily how it's going to get painted.
No.
So yeah, you know, you're now ahead of stuff. First 2 or 3 weeks, it was kind of like just learning it, wasn't it? And now you're on top of it. You're actually deciding what they're going to be doing next. You're lining people up more effectively to work in parallel, and it's about getting it as efficient and fine-tuned as possible, which you're starting to do really well.
Well, as with any site as well, quite often even those best laid plans go wrong, and where you've maybe lined up some certain trades, things happen and they can't quite make it on time. Your deliveries don't necessarily come in on time, and you try to just manage those as best as you possibly can. Having 3 sites has actually been a challenge in a lot of ways, but a real help in others, in that if things slow down on one site, you can always redeploy those resources to another one of the sites, and able to then keep them going and keep them moving and keep the whole 3 projects moving. It's been a challenge, but it's actually probably worked out better in a lot of ways than just concentrating on one specific site. Yeah,
I think you've hit a really good point there, actually, is making sure you can keep your tradesmen working. The last thing you want is booked in the plumber for 3 weeks solid to your site, and after a week you've got no materials for him to fit. That would be a disaster. He's got to go off site, you might lose the build slot with him, he's got another client to go on to, and your whole project can get delayed. Not just the couple of days you're waiting for the delivery, could get delayed by weeks, because that guy might not be able to come back and work for you. Now moving more now on to the kind of order of those trades. Talk us through what you've learned in terms of the order of the trades and when they should come in. Okay, it's not an ideal world, it never works perfectly, it rarely works perfectly on the smaller sites. Much bigger sites you can generally project manage it with a bit more accuracy, because they're on site for longer and it's easier to do that kind of stuff. But smaller HMO conversions, which these 3 are, we're knocking them out in a couple of months. So there's a bit of overlap there, isn't there? And it can be challenging.
There is. I mean, the first port of call is to get some kind of labour trade or carpenters, wherever you might be using at the time, to come in and start reconfiguring the internal layout to what you're specifying. You might have some walls to move, you might have some floors to take up, you may well have en suites to build, which we have in a lot of these rooms.
We'll go through and see those in a moment, which will be good.
So sort of get the framework sorted and obviously understand where it is you're looking to go from there. After that, you're then looking to get the electricians to come in order to first fix. Then is the right time to be bringing in your fire alarm people. Obviously,
that was a tricky one on this site, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
No fire guys available for the first.
That was a bit of a problem. So we managed to get some in the event, but obviously at first fix, that's the ideal time to be bringing them in. You're going to need.
They make a hell of a lot of mess.
They do. Yeah. You're going to need to be putting fire alarms and smoke detectors in every room, communal area, and hallways, etc. It's a big upgrade in that respect. But that's the time to be doing it. Then obviously you're going to get your plumbers in for their first fix. Then you can start letting the building take a bit more shape, putting some of the finishing touches, tacking up the walls and what have you, whether you're using plasterers or carpenters for those roles, getting some of the walls built up. Then you're on to maybe floors on any en-suites that you've built, ready for the plumbers to come in for their second fix, electrician's second fix, letting the plasterers finish off any other work. And then you're on to the nice stuff, the finishing notes, the painters and decorators, the final parts of any flooring you're going to have done, and then snagging of furniture, really.
Snagging furniture, we've got blinds to fit, soft furnishings,
all those bits to order up and get
towel
done.
Rails. You haven't done this yet, so you wouldn't know. There's little finishing, towel rails, throw pillow, little pink fluffy throw pillows, that kind of stuff,
We've done all the door handles and sockets and light switch changes, light fittings changes, blinds ordered up, flooring ordered up. Where the bed's going to go, starting to get the beds ordered up, the vanity units and
wardrobes.
All those wardrobes.
Wardrobes have been a challenge. Talks about
we'll
wardrobes.
Talk about those. They're an integral part, and
enough storage in the room is really
where
key,
they're going to go, your room layout.
Yeah. We struggle with that because in the top floor, which we'll hopefully pan to as we're talking potentially, we've got restricted height ceilings in the corner, so we're actually custom making sort of panels in either side with sliding mirrored doors. And one of the specs I love to use on our HMOs is these mirrored sliding doors because it opens up the room. But fitting them in isn't always easy.
No, it's been challenging in some places. The standard fits that you can get from manufacturers don't always work, so we've had to build some custom units in certain places.
Need a good chipping.
Use custom units.
Yeah.
And
not bodged it in.
No, we've not winged it. We've used custom units in these rooms, and they'll be looking great.